You ever wonder how a lake can ruin your life? No, seriously. One day you think you're inheriting peace, a quiet patch of green, maybe a place to fish and nurse a cheap cup of coffee. Next thing you know, you're starring in your own private war with a woman named Karen who could outlast a plague and outtalk a congressman. Yeah, that happened. 12 acres, a toxic lake, and a battle so dumb it almost felt biblical if the Bible had more HOA drama and less burning bushes. My name's Michael Harrison. Folks around here, they call my place the Sulphur Bowl. Deer Hollow Lake is its real name, but no one uses that anymore. It's not exactly paradise some days. The whole shoreline smells like boiled eggs and regret, which I'll admit does keep the nosy types away. But to me, it's home. My grandfather bought this place before he shipped off to the Pacific in '42, the dock's older than some states. My dad's ashes are scattered under the same willow tree where I caught my first fish. There's memory in every inch of that shoreline, every angry frog, every bit of busted old fence. That's why I posted the signs. 6 of them, big red letters, private property, no swimming, video surveillance. I even stuck trail cams out there in fake birdhouses. Yeah, I'm that guy now. Things stayed mostly peaceful, just me and the lake, until this past spring when I started noticing a weird uptick in SUVs parked along the northern ridge. Designer coolers, golf carts, voices way too loud for the woods folks acting like they owned the place. I figured, okay, maybe someone built new cabins, but then I saw the sign Foxwood Lakeside, all black and gold, looking like it belonged outside a resort spa. Turns out a developer had tossed up luxury homes just over the ridge, all with a killer view of my lake, none with an inch of legal shoreline. Now here's where things get weird, and by weird I mean Karen. The first time I actually saw them by the water, it was a Saturday, weather too nice for drama, and there they were, a gaggle of strangers. Teenagers in swimsuits hanging off my dock, a guy setting up a Bluetooth speaker, and a lady arranging a charcuterie board on a table I sure as hell didn't own. She looked up at me like I was a park ranger about to ticket her for loitering. Afternoon, folks, I called trying to keep things friendly. You might not realize, but this is private property. Lake's not open for swimming. She didn't even blink. This is a natural resource, she said, cool as you please. You can't claim a lake that's not how America works. Ma'am, I'm not claiming it, I own it. Deeds filed paper trail longer than a CVS receipt. That's when she dropped her sunglasses and hit me with the full force of HOA energy. I'm Karen Dorsey, president of the Foxwood Lakeside Homeowners Association. And I think you'll find lake access is implied for our residents. It's in the brochures. Brochures. Like that means anything to the Fulton County Recorder's Office. You're standing in front of 3 signs that say, otherwise, I told her. Someone in the group oohed, like we were about to throw down on Judge Judy. She gave me that smile you save for waiters who get your order wrong. This isn't over, Mr. Harrison. You can't bully people off shared land. And just like that, she called everyone to relocate down the shoreline as if I was just background noise. I watched their footprints trampling moss, watched cracker crumbs scatter on my dock, and felt the first stirrings of a different kind of rot. Not algae, not runoff, just pure suburban entitlement. That night I poured a bourbon, pulled out my deed, reread the section on riparian rights and access. I had the law on paper, at least. But something told me Karen Dorsey had never let paper stop her before. Next Saturday, and here's where the comedy turned into a circus. I woke up to the bass thumping through the pines, kids squealing, grown men cracking beers under my trees, and right in the middle, Karen in a white summer dress, gold sandals, shouting orders like she was prepping for D-Day. There must have been 20 people, a floating unicorn raft, someone setting up a propane grill all on my shoreline. I told her as politely as I could, which wasn't much at this point. You're trespassing. Every one of you. She faked a gasp, went full dramatic, insisted the lake was public because it connected to state wetlands, quoted some Georgia water law off a Facebook meme, told me I couldn't own nature. When I pointed out she broke my gate, her smile disappeared. That was obstructing a traditional access route, she said. Our residents have used that trail for years. Never mind that she moved in 6 months ago. The whole crowd was watching now, some filming, some crossing their arms, a lady muttering about mean men with property issues. I walked away before I said something I'd regret. Called the sheriff. Deputy Carter showed up, a kid barely old enough to shave, But at least he was polite. He read the deed, nodded, said my property line was clear, but there might be a gray area if the HOA claimed traditional access, which for the record is just legal. Speak for maybe they trespassed politely. He suggested filing a complaint, getting a restraining order documenting everything. So I did. Photos, videos, more signs. I reinforced the gate, emailed the DNR for updated reports. The week that followed was quiet, almost suspiciously so. No music, no SUVs, not even the frogs were making noise. Then Saturday hit like a freight train. This time the air reeked, the sulfur pits were boiling, and as I got to the Western Trail, I saw my gate on the ground, not busted, but cut clean through. 30 people, at least, music blaring, buffet tables, kids leaping into the nastiest part of the lake. And there, in her director's chair with a sash reading Fox Lady HOA President, was Karen, clipboard and all. I told her and everyone that the lake was unsafe, pointed to the sulfur smell the health reports tried to reason. She waved a laminated flyer in my face, fake water quality report from Sunridge Environmental Labs signed by Dr. Phil Barton, which if you ask me sounds like the name of a talking cartoon cat. My experts say it's clean, she beamed. I called the sheriff again. Carter came, saw the mess, the cut gate, and this time he actually cursed, told Karen to leave. She gave him the "you can't enforce imaginary rules" routine. Took nearly an hour, but eventually the crowd wandered off, grumbling, some filming, some acting like I'd ruined a charity picnic. That night, the news broke 2 kids hospitalized supposedly after swimming in a private lake, and the headline, owner accused of poisoning water. Karen was front and center, tears glistening, claiming I knew it was dangerous, that I never warned them. You know what I mean? Like she didn't just bulldoze through signs and warnings like a tank. Sunday morning, the silence was thick. My inbox blew up threats. Insults, a HOA newsletter calling me a biological attacker. And then the cherry on top, a 5-minute Facebook video, Karen and her buddy Sheila marching the shoreline, filming my signs, claiming intimidation and criminal trespass, and get this, that I poisoned the water to keep people away. That did it. I called my attorney, Helen Grady, ex-environmental prosecutor, Southern, as sweet tea but sharp as a snake bite, got on the case. I sent her every document, deeds, health reports, camera footage, photos, everything. She dug into the Sunridge Labs report, found out it was as fake as Karen's tan. No such lab. No Dr. Barton. If Karen distributed it to push home sales, that's fraud. If she photoshopped my warning signs out of HOA flyers, that's tampering. We subpoenaed everything. And just in time, because the HOA filed a lawsuit accusing me of defamation, wrongful restriction, and hilariously environmental sabotage. Helen grinned. She eats lawsuits for breakfast. Meanwhile, the Foxwood folks kept up their campaign prayer circles by the lake, gospel music banners reading "Water belongs to all of us." Karen strutted around like some lakeside Joan of Arc. Then, just when I thought I'd seen it all, a realtor showed up, clipboard and all, asking about some handshake agreement Karen claimed existed to allow community access. I showed him my lawyer's letter denying everything. He nearly dropped his pen. More fuel for the fire. Then things got personal. My mailbox forced open a red X, spray painted on a pine by my fence. The war had moved past brunch and prayer. Now it was sabotage. Next, Denise, one of the mothers, showed up at my door shaking, said her daughter got sick after the prayer gathering. Accused me of spraying chemicals in the water. Repeated Karen's lies. I handed her the health reports, the camera stills, the DNR warnings. She left in tears, and I realized how bad this was about to get. Karen posted tearful videos, held up a rusted can she claimed was evidence, whipped the internet into a frenzy. Suddenly, I'm the villain, the boomer gatekeeping nature. Helen filed a countersuit, dropped a motion to admit all my documentation, and exposed the fake lab report. We got access to Karen's emails, instructions to fabricate evidence, threats to the county health inspector, communications with phony consultants. Her lawyer's face turned ghost white in court. The family suing me started backing off. Then the health inspector testified that Karen had tried to bully him into reclassifying the lake, all documented. Sentencing was quiet. Karen in a sad gray blazer trying to look smaller than she is, but the judge didn't care. 14 years for fraud, endangerment, tampering. The HOA dissolved assets, seized community funds, redirected to the families whose kids got sick. My name finally cleared. Back home, I built a better fence, locked the new pier, left the cameras up. The signs stay private property. Sometimes people still ask about the sulfur bowl. They think it's haunted now or cursed. That's fine with me. I watch the water shift, the wind bend the reeds. The boundaries hold. You know, people think land is just dirt and water, but out here, boundaries matter. Ignore them, and sooner or later they'll push back. So tell me, what would you have done if it were your lake? Who was right? Who was wrong? And where do you draw the line when neighbors decide your life is just scenery for their story? Drop your thoughts below, and if you've ever faced a nightmare neighbor, I want to hear your war story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's got a Karen in their life. Boundaries matter, and sometimes so does standing your ground.